Young Junk!
Welcome to the Micheaux Mission. 2 men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. My name is Vincent Williams, and I'm joined as always by my co-host.
Hey, holla at your boy. This is Len, a.k.a. the Bat Tribble.
And as we bring 2023 to a close, we close things up with yet another festive Christmas film. 2002's Friday After Next, the final part so far of the Friday saga with Ice Cube, Mike Epps, John Witherspoon, a returning Anna Marie Horsford, and the character find of the 21st century, Clifton Powell as Pinky. But before we say Merry Christmas to all you, well, folks, how you doing, Lynn?
I am doing great, Vincent. Shout out to you and each and every one of you who are watching us as we stream live from Young Junk, Philadelphia's premier video podcast palace here in Manayunk, streaming to all points north, south, east, and west, which means Twitter, Facebook, and to each and every one of you out there in the chat on YouTube. Hello, missionaries.
Good evening, one and all.
This is our last show of the year, our last show before Christmas. Yet, I already, Vincent, received the best Christmas gift of them all.
And that would be?
That would be this past weekend I spent in Pittsburgh with my daughter Olivia and my grandson Avery.
That is fantastic.
We had so much fun, man.
That is fantastic.
We had so much fun. I took him to this place that is a favorite of his, Urban Air, which is one of like jungle gyms and stuff that the kids can run around in. And he jumps like about 80,000 times into the ball pit.
Oh yeah.
My first time in a ball pit.
Oh.
Have you ever been in a ball pit?
No, because they're filthy.
Well, they probably are filthy. I let that get out of my mind.
Okay, good man.
But they are rightfully called pits.
Okay.
Because once you get in, if you're a human of a certain size,
oh yeah,
you can't get out.
Which is the other part. It seems like something that would be difficult to get out when you're an adult man.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, like you land in there and then you're sitting and laying on top of balls. And you can't,
top of balls.
You can't get up. You know your hands are on balls, your butts are on balls.
Your butts are on balls.
There's balls in your eyes.
Just all balls.
It's just balls
everywhere.
all over where. And then Avery, who knows all about maneuvering in here, he's just throwing balls in my face.
Yes.
Just pelting me with balls. And I can't get out. It's just too many balls.
Yes. This is going to be quite the little clip that's played out of context.
All these balls.
All these balls.
But I had a ball. I had a great time.
That's fantastic.
I had a great time in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Which is a nice town.
Love Pittsburgh. I have family in Pittsburgh, so
okay.
I grew up going to Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Big fan.
Yeah, it's a nice town. So, we had a good time with me and my daughter. I hadn't seen her in person in 2 years because of COVID and stuff. So
yeah.
It was really great. But let me tell you something.
Okay.
All of the joy that I am feeling from that trip was almost sapped out of me.
Okay.
Trying to get back to Philly.
Yeah, what'd you do? Was it bus, train, plane, automobile?
I took the bus, right? Primarily because the bus was half the price of the train.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, fine. And actually in my mind was I'll take the bus up and then I'll catch the train back.
Okay.
And just get back earlier. Mm-hmm. But then come Saturday night when it was time for me to go get my train tickets from Pittsburgh, they were all sold out. So I was like, all right, well, then I'll get the bus.
Right.
Whatever. Got the bus. Bus was a 5:50 a.m. bus from Greyhound. Get me into Philadelphia at 3:40 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'll sleep on the bus, whatever.
Yeah, that's a long drive.
Get up. I'm on time. Get breakfast at the hotel. Beautiful hotel.
Okay, excellent.
I cannot knock the accommodations were fantastic. Get to the station, like, you can get there like about a half hour early, going to board. And I'm noticing like nobody's boarding on the bus. And I know it's got to be there. It's a half an hour. You know how they do the check and everything.
Sure,
like that.
You're getting in line.
And I see people, and you know how you can sense something's wrong?
Yes.
Because everybody looked like they had a scowl on their face.
Yes.
I'm like, something's wrong. So I talked to dude. I'm like, hey, the 5:50 to Philadelphia. He lets out this big sigh. We don't have a driver. You got to transfer to the 6:15 bus. Like, there's no driver? He's like, yeah, there's no driver.
No driver.
So you got to transfer to the 6:15 bus. That's all he tells me. So you go onto the app, you transfer. I go onto the app, I do the transfer for the 6:15. And I just do it because he's telling me what's to do. I'm like, all right, boom. Then I start looking at the details of the 6:15. It says that there's a transfer on the trip. I'm like, oh, hold up. Wait a minute. What's this transfer? Transfer it goes from Pittsburgh to Baltimore. And then there's a 3-hour layover in Baltimore. So it doesn't leave from Baltimore for 3 hours. So it doesn't get into Philly until 6 something that evening. No, like 7 something.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want no 3-hour layover in Pittsburgh, Baltimore.
Yeah.
Because heaven forbid you go there and then that that messes up.
Look.
So I'm like, yo, cancel this. This is within 3 minutes, Vincent. I said, cancel this. They said, okay, cancel it. But because you're doing this the same day, your refund is only going to be $22. I'm like, what? Get on customer service. They got me on hold forever. It's middle of the morning. I'm like, I ain't got time for this. Go to Megabus. Megabus has a bus leaving at 7 something a.m. Gets me to Philly at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Perfect. Boom, boom, boom. It's around the corner. Go to the Megabus. Megabus pulls up on time. Load in. It's clean. It's boom, boom, boom. I'm like, I should have did this in the first place. We're riding along. We're chugging along. Gets to about noon. He makes a stop.
Now, let me just ask you, why is it taking so long to get to Philly?
Why does
from Pittsburgh?
Well, because
it's like a 4-hour trip.
Because it makes a couple of it's a little bit longer on the bus because they're making a couple of stops.
All right, go ahead.
So he makes a stop in between at this town in Mifflinton or Mifflin, whatever. Not far from State College, from what I understand, but like 45 minutes outside of Harrisburg. Stops at a Sheets.
Okay.
Right? Which Sheets, for those who don't know, is like on the road, just like you get anything, food, sandwiches, coffee, whatever.
It's like Wawa, but not as good.
Not as good. I didn't know who didn't know Wawa.
I know, because we got represent for Philly.
True. True. Look up Wawa and then think half that's Sheets.
Right.
So we stop at Sheets.
The coffee is literally undrinkable.
I don't drink the coffee, but I drank the tea, which tastes like coffee, which means... So there you go.
Go ahead.
So we stop at Sheets, rest stop, people load up, get food or whatever. It's about noon. Get back on the bus. Dude tells everybody get back on the bus by 12:25. Everybody's on the bus by like 12:20. We're sitting there chilling. Next thing we know, it's 12:50. We haven't moved. Dude comes over the loudspeaker. Yeah, I'm sorry to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the bus won't move. The bus won't move, so we're going to have to... They're sending down a driver with a replacement bus out of Pittsburgh. So he won't be here for another 3 hours.
Oh my God.
Meanwhile, they're also sending somebody to look and find out what is happening, what is wrong. So we sit there. We're like, I mean, what can we do? So we're sitting there. 2 hours later, overhead. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, they still are having trouble finding a replacement driver.
Yes.
To drive the replacement bus.
What I'm hearing is there's some job openings in the Pittsburgh area for bus drivers. That's what I'm getting from this.
Vincent, the replacement bus pulled up at 7:40 p.m.
Oh. And this is outside of
Harrisburg.
So you still have 3 hours.
3 hours.
Oh my goodness.
And this was Sunday when it was torrential rains.
Yeah.
It was crazy, insane.
Right.
Rain.
And you all were on those mountains up in the
Yes.
Yeah. That's a hard drive.
I got home. I crossed the threshold of my house at 11:05.
And you had been up since 6.
I had been up since 5.
Right, to get to the bus station.
To get to the bus where there was no driver.
But if you had to do it all over again, knowing the exact details of how this was going to happen, you do it all over again because you got to be in a ball pit with Avery.
Yes, I would.
So, there you go.
All right.
And apparently God was trying to keep you out of Philly.
He was. He was. And he almost did it. He almost did it. So that was my adventure in babysitting.
Oh, okay. Well,
on Sunday.
All's well that ends well.
All's well that ends well.
Ball's well that ends well is probably a better way to do it. When you edit this, make sure that you edit out me saying all's well. And I went right into ball's well. So that people will think that I'm very clever.
I will. I will.
All right.
Is there any doubt of how clever you are?
Well, with the proper editing, we can all be clever, can't we?
Oh God! All right. Let's get into our the show, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to start things off where we always do, with emails.
All right.
Or AKA
Missives from the Missionaries. So
what else is going on, Lynn?
We have emails, Vincent.
Ooh, Missives from the Missionaries.
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
Missives from the Missionaries.
Missives from the Missionaries, ladies and gentlemen. Vincent, we have a few emails here.
Oh, we have time.
We will make the time.
We have time. I don't know. I don't know how much insight we're going to bring to the second sequel of Friday.
We have an email from Nicole Sherman.
Hey, what's up, Nicole?
Hey, hi, Len and Vince. Happy holidays to you both. Since next year marks the 35th anniversary of Spike Lee's magnum opus, Do the Right Thing.
Yes, sir.
I'm just going to assume you guys may or may not do something special celebrating such an iconic film. I have a question for you both to discuss amongst yourselves.
Okay.
But we're going to do this on the show.
I was about to say, hopefully Nicole didn't mean she wanted us to wait till like the show was over.
In the privacy of your homes, if you could talk to with your loved ones about, do you think the late John Singleton is in the same caliber as Spike Lee in terms of directors and filmography? Think about it. Both released Do the Right Thing and Boys in the Hood, both films that were huge commercial successes and praised for their authenticity by white America. People often give Spike Lee, rightfully so, his just due, and he's the black director people dote at because of his ability to push the envelope. But can you both say the same thing about John Singleton? I will leave that there.
Okay.
Thank you, Nicole Sherman.
Thank you, Nicole.
Interesting, thought-provoking question. Mm-hmm. Vincenzo, what do you think of how does the filmography of John Singleton stand up to the filmography of one Spike Lee?
I mean, you know, I think Spike Lee's filmography is really a singular achievement. You know, when you look at the depth and the breadth of the type of films that he makes. I think in a lot of ways, I would say comparing Spike Lee to John Singleton is almost like, well, it is. I think it's like apples and oranges. Like I think John Singleton, you know, you think about something like Outside of Rosewood. It seems like John Singleton was much more interested in illustrating the lives of Black people in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And specifically, you know, the South Central area. You know, you think, what do you got? You know, of course, you start with Boys in the Hood and Poetic Justice, and even Higher Learning, which I think in a lot of ways reflected Singleton's own experience.
Yes.
At USC. Baby Boy.
Yeah.
What have I missed? You know, I said Rosewood is kind of an outlier.
I think those, honestly, as far as him as a director, are probably his most personal
right
works, because everything else is you said Rosewood, but you've got Shaft, Too Fast, Too Furious,
right, where he was basically doing studio work.
Yeah, getting a check. Four Brothers.
Even Four Brothers, I think, reflect in that, even though that was a remake of, what is it, The Sons of Catherine,
Catherine or Katie Elder,
Katie Elder, but even that had a South Central sensibility to it.
Well, yeah,
LA
he said it
yeah.
there, but I don't know how personal,
right?
You know, he really involved himself in the story. And then in 2011, Abduction, which is Taylor Lautner, so that's not even
right.
I think that's more just a check.
Whereas I think almost immediately, Spike Lee is sort of all over the place. Like he's almost, you know,
As far as genre, you mean?
Genre, location, tone, style. Like, I mean, just think about it. You know, She's Gotta Have It, super personal.
Right.
Super Brooklyn. School Days is a musical. You know, personal, but set in the South. You know, reflecting his experience at Morehouse. Do the Right Thing, obviously, is his magnum opus. Jungle Fever set in Brooklyn. Then you've got
Malcolm X.
You've got Malcolm X, which is a period piece. And as years have gone by, like, you're never really surprised at Spike Lee being in different areas, because he's always kind of bounced around a little bit.
Well, I think that Spike Lee, and I don't know, without knowing either of them, how much this speaks to them just individually as directors or storytellers and where their imagination lies. Spike Lee was took the notoriety that he received because of She's Gotta Have It, and then parlayed that into everything that he, you know, all of his other works. But he seemed to me like he was steadfast and wanted to play by his own rules.
Sure.
Whereas John Singleton, I think, as personal as Boys in the Hood and some of the other stories were for him, I think he really wanted to just tell his, like you just said, he wanted to tell his personal stories. And then as a director, he kind of like found his way. I think Spike wanted to be a filmmaker.
Right.
But also, and because of that, wanted to then master filmmaking in all the different genres and had the curiosity to want to do all of those things. I don't know if John Singleton, at least as far as I can tell, comes across just looking at his filmography as that intellectually curious in that way.
Right. And frankly, and this really is, I'm just talking out my ass right now because I have no real concept of their finances, director. But it seems like Spike, as you mentioned, like at least the last 3 or 4 films in John Singleton's career were like jobs.
Yeah.
Spike Lee, it seems like, has always had the privilege of channeling his own vision.
Well, I think that may speak to what Nicole is talking about, how he almost became Black America's director.
Right.
So, when he wanted to follow his own id on a project and maybe got some pushback, he always had like, a Oprah,
right,
a, Eddie or whomever.
Or, even something like Red Hook Summer, which, is a tough film. But, it's like I'll just take some iPhones or some, and I'll just make something.
Well, that is the one thing I will say that I think would have been interesting. The shame of it is that, John Singleton did
absolutely
die so young.
And I think I'm about to agree with what you're about to say.
He died so young, and I think we also have to recognize that probably even more so than Spike, John Singleton started to move further behind the camera as a producer. But I think with the advent of streaming really becoming super popular, and the democratization of making films, it becoming so much easier, it would have been interesting to see if he would have then returned back behind the camera and what type of stories he might have told.
Well, he certainly was more successful than Spike Lee in that realm if you compare Snowfall
That's what I was wondering.
to She's Gotta Have It. And you're right.
Well, at least as far as like they're lasting. Some people might argue, quality.
I mean, I think
I
think you can make an argument that Snowfall was a better show than She's Gotta Have It. Like, I haven't watched a lot of Snowfall, but I have to say, as someone who, everybody knows, like, I'm a huge Spike Lee fan, and I liked She's Gotta Have It. Snowfall, it looks like it's solid work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then he did, I'm looking here, he did, he produced Snowfall. He was also a producer on Hustle and Flow. I forgot about that he was a producer on that.
Another LA product. I mean, Snowfall is LA.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, so.
And then he did some directing on television because he directed episodes of Empire, American Crime Story, Billions, along with Snowfall, and he also directed the 30 for 30 documentary about Marion Jones.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, but to answer Nicole's question though, just going strictly on filmography, I don't think his filmography touches Spike's.
No.
No.
But in John Singleton's defense, I don't think it's a lot of filmmakers' filmography. And you know what I've said since the first couple of episodes, and I'll say it right now. I will take Spike Lee's first 5 films and put them up against any director's first 5 films. Oh, certainly you're not talking about, I'm absolutely talking about him. Oh, well, he must not mean, oh yeah, I mean them too. First 5?
I hear you.
Anyone's first 5. Like, it's a lot of filmmakers, I think you could argue, have a better filmography. But the first 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right. So.
All right. We also got an an email, Vincent, from Robert Kaplowitz.
What's up, Robert?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Listening to your conversation about black comedians moving into leading roles. And I was thinking, if you want to see Kevin Hart reach further outside his small guy comedy zone, you should check him as the co-lead with Bryan Cranston in The Upside. I've seen that movie. It's a little feel good as a movie, but it's a totally solid performance outside his comfort zone. He's there on screen with Cranston and Nicole Kidman, and he absolutely holds his own. And it was shot here in Philly, so some of your local listeners have parts in it. I'm also interested in flipping Corey's question. You talk about black comedians as leading men, and I immediately start thinking about leading ladies, or one leading lady at least, Whoopi Goldberg. Are there any other black ladies you can think of who moved from comedy into leading roles? I'm going to stop there. He has more on his email. I saw The Upside with Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
It is a like a little bit of a fun feel good movie. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. It's on my list.
And
Plus, it's kind of like what we do every week. So
right. And Kevin Hart is he's good in it. You know, to say that he holds his own with Bryan Cranston and Nicole Kidman, he doesn't embarrass himself. I think that's different than hold your own. But while he may be acting at a slightly different speed, I never got the impression in that film, or at least as I'm thinking about it, I never got the impression in that film that he was not Kevin Hart from another movie.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So maybe he's tired. So he's just not as
right.
rambunctious in this one.
Right.
But he still feels like he's playing pretty much the same character. But it's not a bad movie. So
okay.
I can't knock him on that. His question about leading ladies who moved from comedy into leading roles, and I'm assuming like leading like drama or something like that. You know, we were for something else slightly related, but coming up next year, we were sitting here trying to think of another leading lady outside of Whoopi Goldberg. And it's hard pressed. Halle Berry, unfortunately, didn't do as many comedies as we wish she did.
I know. The two that I'm thinking about, I'm kind of cheating a little bit because I don't know if they're comedians as much as they're just sort of poly kind of talented. But both Maya Rudolph and Regina Hall, I think maybe started, like we saw them first in comedies.
Okay, yeah.
And both of them have done very good serious work.
That's true. But especially Regina Hall, she quickly proved herself to be more of a jack of all the trades.
Yeah.
You know, Maya Rudolph, I think maybe has more stayed in comedy. At least I can't think of her. What dramatic?
Maya Rudolph, oh my God. I love that movie. It's her and John Krasinski, I think. And they're about to have a kid. It was an indie darling like 10 years ago.
And it wasn't a comedy?
No, I think Rashida Jones plays her sister. What was the name of that movie?
Let me find her. I'm not seeing anything that looks like it right now. Was it Wine Country?
No. So try Maya Rudolph and Rashida Jones.
Well, I'm looking up Maya Rudolph's Away We Go.
Away We Go.
Yeah, there we go. I see it.
Was really, really good.
Okay, 2009.
Maya Rudolph also was on, did we talk about Forever?
No.
Forever was a limited, like a mini series that was on Amazon. Mm-hmm. You're probably looking at it like 2 or 3 years ago. It was her and
I know exactly who you're saying, the white guy.
Yes, we should probably narrow it down some. You know, the white guy with the glasses.
Fred Armisen.
Fred Armisen.
Oh, Kim Whitley is in that too.
It is not what you think it is.
Yeah, because I'm seeing it's advertised as a drama.
Yeah, it is not what you think it is.
And I don't.
And she is really good in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like Maya Rudolph.
I like Maya Rudolph.
I like a very short. I don't think it was a hit, and I think it's got canceled. There was a short-lived show that she did called Loot.
I'm watching Loot.
Loot is cute.
I like Loot. Loot is another one of these amazing shows on Apple that Apple doesn't advertise.
No, it's just like
Apple, we got good ass shows. What, you want to know about them? Nope.
Yeah, that's Loot. Yeah, I can't think of anybody else. Regina Hall's.
I don't know whatever happened with Monique and everybody, but you know I wanted to see more serious Monique after Precious. And Monique have we talked about Fat Girls?
We started to. That was one of those movies that we picked, and then the schedule got messed up. And we
Monique
never
was
returned to it.
surprisingly good in that.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I was actually looking forward to reviewing it, watching it and reviewing it. Nicole continues on her email.
Okay.
As per Kara Young from Pearly Victorious.
Oh my goodness.
She is absolutely a serious and amazing stage actor, and you are very right. She is the one to watch. She was nominated for a Tony Award each of the last 2 years, Best Supporting Actress in Clyde's in 2022 and in The Cost of Living in this year. And you can paint me purple and call me Grimace if she doesn't get another nod this year for Pearly.
Oh my God, she should.
I know she's in a movie that just released to streaming called Blow Up My Life. I don't know anything more except the name, but yes, indeed, she is an amazing performer. Thanks as always for the insights and entertainment. Robert Kaplowitz out of West Philly. And Vincent is eagerly looking up Blow Up My Life. He's adding it to his must-see.
Yeah.
Even as we speak.
Kara Young.
Okay, Vincent.
All right,
calm down.
You said you're going, did you say in January?
Yeah, that's the plan, to go in January, yeah.
Cannot wait for you to see it so we can talk about it.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see. And the emails just keep coming.
Oh, let's talk about some emails. It's the last show of the year.
It's the last show. Let's get them all out. All right. These are the emails in regards to last week. This is from Courtney, I believe.
Hey, Courtney.
Hi, Len and Vince. I just listened to your recent episode on Eddie Murphy's new movie, Candy Cane Lane.
Yes.
Since we're on the topic of Eddie Murphy,
Yes.
I do feel like there should be a conversation about Eddie Murphy's relationships with his female co-leads.
Interesting.
And I may argue a colorism problem, since most, if not all, his leads are light-skinned / ambiguous women. I always felt Eddie Murphy doesn't have chemistry with his female co-leads, like there are no sparks, or it's forced, or it comes off as awkward. Also, listening to your Harlem Nights episode is what prompted me to this. The only time this was not true was in Boomerang. I feel like we don't talk about how well Eddie Murphy and Robin Givens bounced off each other despite them being the same person. What are your thoughts, Court?
What are your thoughts, Lynn, on Eddie Murphy and colorism?
That actually is... I honestly can't say that it's something that I ever noticed. So now I'm going through my mental Rolodex, and wow, that's very interesting. Especially when you think about, now you go back to Coming to America in that vein. And you think about our girl, Arf Arf.
Yeah. Vanessa Bell Calloway.
But I knew it was the V. Vanessa Bell Calloway, and how she is treated versus when he then comes to America. And so I had actually never noticed that. That is an interesting point. I mean, even though there's an argument to be made, okay. Well, she does point out Boomerang, because there's an argument to be made that while he had chemistry with Robin Givens, I felt like he had some chemistry with Halle Berry as well.
Did. He absolutely did.
So that bumps against that argument.
You know, I'm very sensitive about any critique, particularly of black women, which might seem like they're below the belt. Mm-hmm. There is a whole ecosystem of light-skinned black actresses that their careers are, I play the love interest of the black comedian who's the lead. Mm-hmm. And her pointing to Eddie Murphy, they're all of them.
Okay.
Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, Martin Lawrence, Dave Chappelle, like every single solitary black male comedian and a fair number of the black actors. Mm-hmm. When you look at their love interests, which once you get to a certain stature in your career, mm-hmm. you have a lot of say in who plays your interests. Mm-hmm. It is. It's like you just kind of can put a paper bag up next to the television and they all kind of walk. And I think the thing about Boomerang is that Robin Givens and Halle Berry are actresses who can exist outside of this ecosystem. It is my belief, and I'm just looking at, I'm scrolling through people's resumes. There are a fair number of actresses that this is the bulk of their career. Like, this is what I do. Like, Kevin Hart got a movie coming out, so I'm gonna go out for Kevin Hart's wife, Kevin Hart's girlfriend. But like, that's the extent of my career. And it's something that we don't like to talk about. Mm-hmm. It's something that, and I'm not trying to shit on, so I'm not naming nobody's, not let everybody, we all watch movies. Mm-hmm. So, somebody's thinking of certain people and I'm probably thinking of them certain people too. But I think she's absolutely correct. I just don't think it's an Eddie Murphy problem. I think it's a black actor / black comedian / black lead problem.
Yeah, I do think,
which of course reflects issues with colorism within the black community that we don't address.
Right. It's not an Eddie Murphy problem, but I do think that it's not an Eddie Murphy problem. Like, it's not his problem, but I do think that there is a conversation to be had about, like you just said, once a performer, if they are lucky enough, reaches a certain status, because not all of them reach that status, right? And by reaches a certain status, doesn't necessarily just mean that you've had hit movies. It means that you've reached the status where your name is appearing twice in the credits, above the title, mm-hmm. and with an EP,
right?
Near the end of the credits.
Well, I named who I named.
Well, and once you've kind of reached that level, then you can kind of call those shots,
yes,
of who is standing beside you. And there are certain performers, and we're not naming any other names, okay? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to follow your lead on that. Mm-hmm. But there are certain performers who, at least looking at the camera, give the impression that they are making the shot and trying to be even-handed about who was standing with them, next to them, and there are some others who maybe their appearance is that they're not. Yeah, I mean, what can you say about it? It's dude. The bottom line is, if every black man in the world, I'm not just going to label this on America. If every black man in the world stood up just once for a black woman, as much as one black woman stands up for every black man, we wouldn't be having these problems. We wouldn't be having these conversations.
Yeah. Well, no. I'm not going to let us off the hook like that.
Oh, I'm not letting us off the hook.
Because I do think this is a matter of who we deem worthy of this kind of attention. Like it's not just standing up and defending. This is a matter of image. This is a matter of, again, who do we deem worthy of love?
Okay,
Like
yeah,
this
but that's
pattern
what I mean.
oh yeah, right. But it's when we say every black woman, I think again now you're kind of we're obscuring the point of the letter.
Okay,
Which is this
fair
issue
enough.
of colorism. Like,
I see what you're
like
saying.
you know, quite frankly, as we all know, my two favorite black love stories are Django Unchained
Yes.
and Swan Song. But one of the things that draws me to that is that Kerry Washington is unambiguously a black woman. So that this man, A, is moving heaven and earth for a black woman, but this is a brown-skinned black woman. Now, we can talk about features and size and, this that, and other, but you can't argue that she's a brown-skinned woman.
Right.
And in Swan Song, Nicole Harris.
Yes.
Nicole Harris.
No, you talking about the star? No, the
love interest in Swan Song. Mahershala Ali's wife.
Oh,
And
yes.
Nicole Harris, brown-skinned black woman.
Naomi Harris.
And I think you have to mention that. I think you have to say that out loud. That these two black protagonists move heaven and earth. A, for their black mates, their black wives. B, their brown black wives. And to go back to the letter, patterns have emerged. You and I watch these damn movies every week.
Yes, we do.
Every week. And you watch them and you see these patterns emerge and you see who gets who gets cast as the love interest. And it's a lot of these love interests that ain't Journey Smollett, that ain't Maya Rudolph, that ain't Tracy Ellis Ross, that ain't Gugu and Batha Raw, that you could say, oh, these sisters are acting. Like this isn't just a matter of them like they are. It's a lot. It's like, God damn, how did you get this job?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We got one more email.
Vincent,
from Michael Sykes. The subject line: just another lame Eddie Murphy movie. Hello, Vincent and Len. I've watched y'all review on Eddie Murphy's new movie, Candy Cane Lane. Candy Cane Lame. This movie is worse than the typical Lifetime Channel holiday movies.
Oh, no.
At least there is some kind of depth, taste, or feeling of what's going on in Lifetime holiday movies. This movie is the opposite. There's no depth or thought put into this movie, just another cash cow. Eddie Murphy's worst family movies, along with Daddy Daycare, 1,000 Words, Imagine That, The Haunted House, and more. Eddie needs to stop doing this movie.
He rattled them off.
He sure did. Also in the Candy Cane Lame movie, the character Pip, played by Nick Offerman, what was his story? Did he have a family? How long was he a Jillian Bell doll? What happened to his family? This and The Great White Hype is two of Reginald Hudlin movie letdowns.
Oh, that's interesting because I like The Great White Hype.
At least. We got Beverly Hills Cop 4 to look forward to. I pray it doesn't come out like Coming to America. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Your fan, Michael Sykes. Thank you for the email, as always, Michael. And boy, thank God we've got Beverly Hills Cop 4 to look forward to. Speaking of which, hey, they dropped a teaser trailer for Beverly Hills Cop 4 just this week. Just the other day. It's going to be coming to Netflix soon. Vincent, I heard that you saw the trailer. What did you think of Beverly Hills Cops 4, the teaser trailer?
Lynn, I've been hurt so much. I've had so much letdown and pain and, dare I say, betrayal. And misleadings from my dear Eddie Murphy. I am actually, I think Wendy said that Gen X black men are in an abusive relationship with Eddie Murphy. And she's 100% right. I am in an abusive relationship with Eddie Murphy because even though I know better, I was excited by the trailer.
Really?
Oh,
You were excited by the trailer, or you were excited about that? Oh, there is a trailer.
I was excited by the trailer. Like, I enjoyed the trailer.
Really?
I did.
Okay.
I did. Now, it's hedging the bets a little bit because I love Kevin Bacon. I love Joseph. I
forget.
What's his name? But I love him. And I know I'm setting myself up. I know I'm setting myself up. But then he told me it was going to be different this time. He brought me flowers. So I am. I know.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Kevin Bacon. Star alongside Taylor Page.
I was saying, I think my girl is in, right? Taylor Page, I think, plays his daughter.
With Teresa Randall. And returning, Judge Reinhold, John Ashton, and Ronnie Cox, and Paul Reiser in Beverly Hills Cop 4, ladies and gentlemen.
The other thing I'm kind of holding on to.
Axel F.
Do you know the Beverly Hills Cop revamp story?
The story of...
So originally...
You mean like the original Beverly Hills Cop?
No. Originally, like 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, this was going to be the son.
It was going to be the son.
Yes.
But they said the footage, right, it was going to be about the son, and then they were going to have Eddie Murphy almost as a supporting character, as Axel Foley, Sr. But they said the footage was so good with Axel Foley that they scrapped the thing. I think it was Brandon Jackson.
Yes.
His name? Yeah, that they scrapped that and said, we're going to focus on him. So maybe...
Yeah, but this isn't that footage, I don't think.
I know it's not that footage, but kind of like we've said about Eddie Murphy in these later projects, and certainly my feelings about him in Coming to America, where he seemed like he was just going through the motions. Like Eddie Murphy seems like everyone else loves the Coming to America experience more than Eddie Murphy himself.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Beverly Hills Cop is something that he's excited about. Like he likes Axel Foley. In which case, maybe Lynn, he bought me flowers.
Must have been a lot of flowers.
He bought me flowers. He sent me lunch.
He did.
He was outside my door crying. He said, "Baby, I'm sorry. I won't do it again." And You know, I opened the door, let him in. He said, "Save my life. Save my life." I said, "Well, you didn't want me to save your life?" He said, "Yes, save my life."
He must have tossed your salad too.
So we gonna get married, and then he's gonna grow a mustache, which is gonna show that he's mature.
Here's the thing, Vincent. Here's the thing. Remember how you were talking, you and our associate producer, Mo Popular, who I'm not going to let you off the hook with this either, Mo. Remember how y'all were talking about Eddie Murphy had appeared on the Jimmy Kimmel show?
Yes.
And it was such a great interview.
Yes.
And we were all extolling about the
Yes.
story that he told about Lola
Yes.
Falana. And I said, if you really listen to that story,
Yes.
he's not really doing a great job
Yes.
telling the story.
Yes.
It's just that it's the history of Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
In that interview, he already told us what to expect in this movie.
Right. Where
Because
he
he
said, "Don't
tells
ask me
us-
to do things that you don't ask Morgan Freeman to do."
Exactly.
Because I'm old.
Because I'm old now.
Yes.
He already told you
You know already.
what this movie is going to be about.
It's going to be different this time. See, your problem is nobody really understands what Eddie and I have, except us. He's different when he's with me.
Okay. Well, then can you keep him on your television? Because I won't, until we absolutely have to, I will not be tuning in to Beverly Hills Cop 4. Because Eddie Murphy looked like he filmed Beverly Hills Cop 4 while he was filming Candy Cane Lane. Because he looked so tired in every one of those clips, except the ones where you see him from like the back, because it's not Eddie Murphy, it's a stunt double. He looks so tired in this movie. Looks, oh my God.
We'll see. But I believe it's going to be different this time.
It's going to be different.
I can feel it, Lynn. Mm-hmm. It's going to be different this time.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get that Dolomite is my name energy.
So, we shall see.
We shall see.
We shall see, Michael. All right. Well, that's our emails, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Thank you, one and all.
Let's get into our top 5.
All right.
Top 5. Who's your top 5? My top 5 is. My top 5 is. My top 5 is.
Oh, top 5, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, didn't see my man's hand up there telling me that he was ready, and now I'm here. Hello. The top 5. So this is where I give Vincent a list, and he gives us commentary on it. And as always, we are in theme.
All right, thematic.
We will eventually be getting to our review of Friday After Next, ladies and gentlemen, which is, as Vincent pointed out, the third and final chapter. One can only hope. In the Friday movie series. Mm-hmm. And it continues a trend in that it is a sequel, a Christmas-themed sequel to a movie that was not a Christmas movie.
Oh.
So what I have here, for the most part in chronological order,
Okay.
are Christmas sequels to movies that weren't Christmas movies.
Interesting.
Now, most of these are comedies, except number 5.
Okay.
Which we will lead off because it is a personal favorite to geeks like me and you.
Okay, and that would be?
Batman Returns from
Yeah.
1992.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, let's break down. I hear Dylan scoffing back there. Let's break down exactly why Batman Returns is, in fact, a Christmas movie. It literally, right from the beginning, we're presented with the birth of the Penguin on a snowy night, and in the corner of the room is a beautifully decorated Christmas tree.
Yes.
The very tone of Christmas is our first introduction to this character. From there, the story picks up 33 years later, at Christmas time, with the lighting of Gotham City's Christmas tree being the very next thing that we see. Even when we meet Michelle Pfeiffer's Selena, aka Catwoman, is when she forgets to give her boss, the evil Max Schreck, played by Christopher Walken, his notes for his speech at the Christmas tree lighting.
That's right.
This is also where the Penguin begins his evil campaign on the city with his minions, who explode onto the event, coming out of a massive Christmas present. So yes, while it may be Christmas from hell, it is still Christmas.
Yes, absolutely. Love Batman Returns.
The Batman Returns. That was number 5.
I'm in a small percent. I actually like Batman Returns better than Batman. I know.
Well,
I know. It's just me.
no, it's not just you.
Yeah.
It's not just you. I will say that I like Batman Returns better than Batman because I'm very cold on the first Batman for aesthetic reasons.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
We're
don't
gonna
need to
go down the Batman road.
We're not going to go in there just now. It's not worth it.
Can I poke you one little bit more?
Sure.
Because Batman Returns, I like it better than Batman. You ready?
Why?
It's actually my favorite Batman movie.
Oh,
I know.
that.
Oh, I know.
That.
You know how I feel about the Chris Nolan movies.
Well, and that's fair. That's fair. See, the Chris Nolan movies that. Okay.
I know.
We've already gone long.
I'm just saying.
We could be here all day. We could be here. Why do you do this?
Look, I thought you were going to bite with me saying Batman Returns is better than Batman.
No, see,
All right.
but you just had to keep poking.
Anytime I can stab up them boring ass Chris Nolan Batman movies, I do it. Go ahead.
They're not all boring.
Well, yeah, that's what y'all keep telling me, but go ahead.
You're not sucking me in, Vincent. You're not sucking me in. Number 4.
Number 4.
This one is from 1988.
Okay. Good year.
All right. This is Ernest Saves Christmas. Santa Claus is looking for his successor, and a hapless taxi driver, Ernest P. Worrell, played by one Jim Varney. Remember Ernest from the commercials?
I've never seen one Ernest movie.
But you remember him from the commercial. You remember the character.
Sure.
Is just the man to help him out, traveling to Florida to pass his mantle on to the children's show host Joe Carruthers. Santa gets into unexpected trouble, and it's up to Ernest, along with a teen girl named Harmony, to assist St. Nick with his important mission, or the future of Christmas could be in jeopardy. The Washington Post's review of Ernest Saves Christmas says, it doesn't take extrasensory perspiration, as Ernest would say, to realize this undertaking is dumber than jaywalking at the Indy 500. Now, that may be true, but I like Ernest movies. They're dumb fun to watch on a Sunday afternoon while you're sitting there eating cheeseburgers and french fries.
I don't like Ernest. I never liked Jim Varney. I would be shocked if you didn't look up Jim Varney and he wasn't saying some wild Trump shit right now.
Well, I'm not going to look at him.
All right.
You're not going to
All right.
destroy my childhood. I'll let somebody else do that. Next. From 1989.
1989.
That magic year.
Yeah.
This is one of 2 Chevy Chase movies that I enjoy.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
National Lampoon's
That's right.
Christmas Vacation. As the holidays approach,
That's right.
Clark Griswold, played by Chevy, wants to have a perfect family Christmas. So he pesters his wife, Ellen, and his children as he tries to make sure everything is in line, including the tree and house decorations. However, things go awry very quickly. This is the 3rd installment in the Vacation franchise.
Is it the 3rd one?
See, you're just like me. You thought it was the second one, right?
Yeah.
I did too. after Vacation in 1983 and 1985's European Vacation.
That's right.
I always thought
forgot about. Right, but you
I thought that
was
came after
this
because it's not as good,
No, it's not.
right? Rotten Tomatoes reports that 70% of 54 film critics give this film a positive review, and it is a movie that has gone on to become one of the films, just like It's a Wonderful Life, just like A Christmas Story, that it replays and replays every holiday season.
It's a good movie.
It's a fun movie.
You said you only like 2 Chevy Chase movies.
Yes.
So is the original Vacation the other one?
No.
You don't like the original Vacation?
No. I mean, it's okay, but no.
Interesting. Is the other one Fletch?
No. I hate Fletch.
What's the other one?
It's not. It is a Chevy Chase movie, but it's an ensemble.
Is it a secret? Are you
No,
gonna tell me?
I didn't know if you wanted to still guess. Three Amigos.
Oh, right. See, I hate Chevy Chase so much that I never think about he's in. I always forget he's the other Amigo.
Yeah, he's the other Amigo with,
Yeah.
with Steve Martin and
Martin Short. Yeah.
Martin Short.
Yeah.
And he's fine in it, and
Yeah.
he does have some funny bits in
Yeah.
it. But there is also a part of you while you're watching it, you get the sense, I have absolutely no evidence of this, that Steve Martin and Martin Short wish they were by themselves.
Could the evidence be the fact that Steve Martin and Martin Short have continued to work together for the
Chevy
past 30 years and Chevy Chase has not? Like they just like at one point they were just on tour together, just on stage talking to
That's
one another.
very true.
Like
That's very
Chevy
true.
Chase is alive.
I know.
They could do some stuff with Chevy Chase if they wanted to.
Maybe he'll be the next victim in Murders in Only in the Building.
Right. I like Fletch. Fletch is the only film that I've ever seen Chevy Chase in where that, Chevy Chase is charming stuff, I see it.
Really?
Yeah, I like
don't.
Fletch.
I don't.
All right.
Not at all.
All right. But I also like the original Vacation and European Vacation.
Don't remember.
I mean, Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation.
I don't even remember European Vacation.
And apparently nobody else does. Because I'm sure everybody thinks that this is the second one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And probably thinks this is the last one. And it's not the last one either. All right. Next we have,
Okay.
excuse me, from 2011, A Very Harold and Kumar Christmas. 6 years after their last adventure, stoner pals Harold and Kumar, John Cho and Kyle Penn, have grown apart and found new friends. As each is busy making holiday preparations, a mysterious package mistakenly arrives on Kumar's doorstep. Unfortunately, Kumar's attempt to redirect the package to Harold goes up in smoke, along with a prized Christmas tree belonging to Harold's father-in-law. The pair's journey across New York City to find a replacement tree threatens to blow Christmas Eve sky high. This is the sequel to Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay, which is the third installment in the Harold and Kumar franchise. Justin Chang of Variety wrote that this vulgar romp is a generally harmless, heartwarming affair, a cinematic Christmas cookie, almost sweet and flaky enough to cover the fact that it's laced with hash, cocaine, and assorted bodily fluids, blood included.
I'm just learning that this film existed right now.
Wow, you never heard of it?
And I really enjoyed Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
The first movie.
Yeah.
I've seen like bits of this before, and like I always seem to catch this. This would always show up on Comedy Central, and I'd always catch it like in the middle and be watching, and then either I would hear something bleeped out or it would go to a commercial and I'd realize, oh, this is because you never know what channel. This is back when the days I had cable. Oh, this is on Comedy Central. I don't want to watch this with commercials and cut up.
Sure.
And I'll just look for it, and I just never followed up on it. But what I would always see was enjoyable.
Okay,
it was fun.
I like them.
So there you go. All right. And finally, Number one
Number one,
from 2013.
2013.
And this is one that is near and dear to your heart.
Okay, and that would be?
The Best Man Holiday.
Yeah, that's not a comedy though. Like you said, the rest of them were comedies.
Well, The Best Man is billed as a rom-com.
Right. This is right.
And honestly, The Best Man Holiday is billed as a rom-com.
I was about to say it's actually not funny at all.
No, it's not. It's not. Some might say it's trauma porn, but
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ever going to watch that film again.
not that we don't have to anymore, right?
Right.
We
And
gotta,
not because because I don't think it was a bad film.
no, it's not a bad.
But
It's not a bad
it's-
film. Washington Post Ann Hornaday says that the sequel is both a romp and a tearjerker.
Yeah.
Like a long lost soap opera emerging from a Rip Van Winkle length hiatus, The Best Man Holiday has lost none of its often baggy, saggy melodrama. Luckily, when things get too soppy, Terrence Howard can be depended on for crude one-liners that land with all the more finesse thanks to his smoky, slightly stoned delivery.
All right.
All right. Well, there you go. So The Best Man Holiday.
Okay.
And we're not going to go deep into that. It's been covered ad nauseum here
I'm going to say by us.
by us.
Yeah.
Go look it up in the archives,
Yeah,
ladies and
yeah.
gentlemen. But yeah, that is our top five.
All right.
Okay.
It's a good year-ending top five.
All right. Hope so, because it's what we got.
Put a bow on it.
And now
And now,
it is time for the Game of Kings.
the gift that keeps on giving.
6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin.
It's a Russian doll of gifts.
I never saw that. I thought it was really good. Isn't our girl in that the star of
Poker
it?
face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good.
6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin, ladies and gentlemen, where I give Vincent an actor and he has 6 films or less to connect that actor to our very favorite Christmas gnome, 1970s heartthrob, D'Urville Martin.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Vincent?
Yes, sir.
There is a theme to these two
A
actors.
theme. And what is the theme?
The theme,
They both work with Ice Cube.
no.
Okay.
Trying to keep it tangentially in theme with Friday After Next,
Okay.
which is the third film in a series,
Yes.
right? So these actors
Okay.
have played are the third actors to appear as a character in a movie series that started with someone else playing that character.
Okay. So almost like a James Bondy type thing.
Right.
Okay.
However,
However.
to make this interesting
Okay.
and to further delay our review of Friday After Next,
Okay.
these actors, you cannot use the movie series.
That they appeared as a third actor.
Right.
Okay. All right.
So this is going to be tough.
Are you even a higher tight wire act?
Yes.
Okay. What we got?
So starting at number one,
Number one.
in 6 movies or less,
Uh-huh.
connect D'Urville Martin,
Two.
the third actor
Okay.
in the series, in lineage, to play James Bond,
Okay.
Timothy Dalton.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, see, this is where you mess up with Timothy Dalton, because I was never going to use the James Bond movies for him anyway.
Okay.
Because there's only one real Timothy Dalton film that has ever made a mark in my life. Now, I do have a question for you,
Okay.
which seems like it's going to be out of nowhere, but it isn't. Who played Starsky on TV?
That was Paul Michael Glaser.
Paul Michael Glaser. This is why Paul Michael Glaser is important.
Okay.
Because D'Urville Martin is in 5 on the Black Hand Side with Leonard Jackson.
Okay.
Leonard Jackson is in Boomerang with Eddie Murphy.
I got a funny feeling I know what movie you're going to land on.
Eddie Murphy is in that really terrible I Spy remake with Owen Wilson. Owen Wilson is in Starsky and Hutch
Right.
with Paul
Michael Glazer.
Michael Glazer, who is in Fiddler on the Roof with Topol. Topol is another actor that I only know him from 2 movies.
I knew it.
One of them
I knew it.
is, of course, Fiddler on the Roof.
And the other
But
film.
the most important work that Topol ever did in his entire career
I knew it.
was that Topol was in Flash Gordon with Timothy Dalton. He saved every one of us. He's for every one of us. Oh, yeah. Timothy Dalton is in Flash Gordon.
Yes.
Now, I could have cheated. Not cheated, but a less flashy way. See what I did there? Is I would have went through Sam Jones through the Ted movies. Which made me like Sam Jones more. Because it was nice to see that Sam Jones was in on the joke.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, he has been. I mean, that's how he makes his money.
Oh, my. Oh, no. But just sort of Flash is sort of this meathead hero.
Oh, okay. No,
You
no.
know.
Right.
Part of why I love Flash Gordon is like it's like this subversive 80s hero. Like Timothy Dalton is so good in Flash Gordon because his character Prince, and I forgot the prince's name, but like the whole movie, he's like, I can't believe this guy is my rival.
I know. You know what? I think that may be a movie that I watched during a holiday.
I love Flash Gordon so much.
It's been so long since I've seen it.
Oh my God, I love Flash Gordon.
Give it its proper just due. I think I'm going to rewatch
Topol is having a ball. Max von Sydow is having a ball. Sydow is having a ball. I don't know if Sam Jones is in on the joke or not.
No, I think Sam Jones is playing it straight.
Yeah.
And which is actually what you want him to be doing.
Right, but dumber, not Sam Jones necessarily. But I love that Flash Gordon is dumber than a bag of rocks. And just somehow kind of stumbles into becoming this hero. Like
He's Inspector Gadget.
Like I love this sort of subversive nature of the 80s action hero with Flash Gordon. The costumes are amazing. You know, of course the music. Oh
Queen.
my,
Freddie Mercury.
oh, I love Flash Gordon so much. So yes, there you go.
Very good, Vincent. Well done.
Yes.
All right.
Woo.
Number 2.
Number 2,
In 6 films or less.
6 films or less.
Connect D'Urville Martin
2.
to the third actor
Okay.
to play one Anakin Skywalker. No, not Anakin Skywalker. Obi-Wan.
He's the second actor.
He's third.
No, it's only been 2 actors that have played Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So it was
It's Alec Guinness and
Ewan
Ewan
McGregor.
McGregor.
All right, well, he's the second one. I miscounted.
So I can't use Star Wars?
No.
Oh, we'll see that.
So it's Ewan McGregor.
Oh, well, see, that's hard because the only thing besides Star Wars I really know him from is Train Spotting. And I don't know who else is in Train Spotting.
Other white guys.
And because of you, I always think about him in Big Fish. But I forget who else
You
was.
don't know who else is a Big Fish.
No, I kind of. Is Albert Finney in Big Fish?
He is.
I don't know how that helps me, though, because I don't know what else Albert Finney was in.
I want to think that was his last movie.
What's Albert Finney's big movie?
His big movie?
Yeah, you know.
I actually just watched it again for the 100th time this week.
What is it?
Network.
Right, Network. So who else is in network? Shit. Oh, it's somebody in network too.
There is. There's a couple of people. There's two people.
I have not seen network in probably 15 years.
Still holds up.
Yeah, is
You'll never pull the other leading guy, but look for the woman.
it's not Diane Keaton. Is that Meryl Streep?
No.
I'm never going to pull it. Give me another Albert Finney movie.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to pull that.
Albert Finney was also in, I don't want to go too... Oh, this is a film that most people probably know him from 1982. Well, some people of a certain age. Annie.
Oh! Boom. I'll do the same path then. I'll do the same path because, again, D'Urville Martin is in Follow on the Black Hand Side with Leonard Jackson. Leonard Jackson is in Boomerang with my man.
Jeffrey Holder.
Jeffrey Holder. And Jeffrey Holder's in Annie with Albert Finney. I always forget that's Albert Finney because he's got the bald
Yeah,
wig
because
on.
he's Daddy Warbucks.
Yeah, and then Albert Finney is in Big Fish.
Okay.
Yeah.
With, just to complete it.
With Ewan McGregor.
Very good. Very good. All right. So you did it.
Yeah.
You did it, Vincent.
Yeah.
Well done, well done, well done.
Yeah, that's right. Albert Finney is in Annie. I always forget that.
Yeah, I mean, Albert Finney, he was in quite a few things.
Yeah.
You know, he was in Annie. He was in Network, as we mentioned. He plays Hercule Poirot
Yeah.
in Murder on the Orient Express, the original movie.
Yeah, we also could, because we were talking about, you've been talking about Steve Martin, but whatchamacallit is in, Dick Anthony Williams is in The Jerk with, what's my girl's name?
Bernadette Peters.
Bernadette Peters, who's also in Annie.
Yeah. And he's also in Skyfall.
Oh, okay.
Plays Kincaid.
Okay. Speaking of James Bond, once again.
Right. Yeah, he plays Kincaid, who, in the role that they first offered to Sean Connery, and Sean Connery turned him down.
Right. Like slapped a woman on his way out.
So, I don't want to segue on that note. Can we say something else?
Okay. Also, we could have used Tim Curry in Annie.
Yes, you could have.
We could have used Tim Curry from a couple of things. Because Tim Curry isn't he in one of the Batmans?
No, he was. They wanted
They
him. to one-
wanted him.
Yeah, but he wasn't in one of them.
Right.
It was not.
Right.
All right.
All right.
Well, unfortunately, the time has come, ladies and gentlemen.
Time has come.
For
Time has
us
come.
to review Ice Cube, Mike Epps, John Witherspoon, and DC Curry, and Anna Maria Horsford, and Clifton Powell in Friday After Next.
Ready?
Sure.
Sure. Friday After Next. The third part of the Friday series, the second sequel to the iconic film Friday, finds Craig and his cousin Day Day back in the old neighborhood where it all began. It's Christmas time and a ghetto Santa Claus breaks into their rundown apartment. stealing all their presents along with anything else he can stuff into his sack, including the rent money. Their only hope to not get evicted before Christmas is to take jobs as security guards at a local strip mall, where they learn some comic lessons about the true meaning of the holidays. Ice Cube returns as Craig, as does Mike Epps as his cousin Day Day, along with returning cast members John Witherspoon as Craig's father, and Anna Marie Horsford, who was not in the sequel, but returns for this as his mother. Cat Williams, Terry Crews, Ricky Smiley, and of course the great Clifton Powell as Pinky also round out the cast in this film written by Ice Cube and directed by Marcus Raboy. This was the choice of Lynn Webb as we end out the 2024 year. 23 year of the Micheaux mission. Lynn.
Yes.
Lynn. How would you like to begin your critique of Friday After Next?
Well, I feel like we're going to spend a lot of time on this film talking about the movie itself and by way of that, by proxy of that, talking about Ice Cube and his work or lack thereof in this film. And we're going to spend a good bit of time on that. But I think where we need to start is with the director, Marcus Raboy. And I think a hint at what is in store for you, ladies and gentlemen, the audience who go see Friday After Next, and us, this being the first time I ever saw this movie, a hint of what is in store is told to us by looking at Marcus Raboy's IMDb page.
Okay.
And his filmography.
Okay.
Friday After Next is a 2002 film. Marcus Raboy starts his producing, directing career way back in 1991.
Okay.
Directing music videos.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Famously for Naughty by Nature's OPP and Everything's Gonna Be All Right. He then goes on in music videos to work with Mary J. Blige, Run DMC, PM Dawn, Lisa Stansfield, Sting, as well as Ice Cube. And he does tons of video work after that.
Yes.
Right? Until you get to 2002, when he, like a lot of music video directors, moves into films with Friday After Next.
I mean, F. Gary Gray.
F. Gary Gray, that's how he started.
Yeah, with Friday.
Right. Hype Williams.
Well, easy.
Okay, but that's how he started.
Yeah.
That's how he started. And Marcus parlays a relationship with Ice Cube, because he had done video work with Ice Cube, into directing this film.
Yes.
Also, now I say he parlays this. It also could have been Ice Cube saying, hey, you want to direct it? Because Ice Cube is a producer by this point.
Absolutely.
In 2002. Friday After Next, that's his his brand. The whole Friday series. He directs 2002's Friday After Next. After that, why the career of Marcus Raboy just skyrockets from there, because he does nothing after that except comedy specials. Tons and tons of comedy specials. Now, if you're asking which comedy special, Don't strain your brain, ladies and gentlemen. You know the comedy special where the comedian is on stage and he's walking back and forth and there's maybe 3 cameras, one on the right, one on the left, one dead center, and they kind of pivot this way, that way. Remember that comedy special that you saw? That's Marcus Radboy's comedy special. Because that's every comedy special. That is what the director does. It just tell you, move left, move right, move left, move right. Comedy specials are made in the editing. The directing is easy. It's the easy part. Everything is done in the editing. That tells you that Marcus Radboy maybe didn't find his niche when it came to making movies. And the proof of that is in his IMDb, as well as on the screen in 2002's Friday After Next. Because this is a bad movie. And I'm talking from a directing standpoint. It is a bad movie. There are jokes that are told off screen. There are jokes that are told in the gutter of the screen. There are jokes that are set up and you never hear the end of it. It is just such a bad movie from a directorial point of view that you're sitting there thinking, well, maybe if everybody else is having fun, that'll be infectious.
Sure.
You know? Case in point, the movie Car Wash.
Right.
Which we both like. It's not that great of a directed film.
Right.
But everybody in there is having fun, they're lively, and you get into it.
Sure. It's better than digging a ditch.
Exactly. And it's better than Friday After Next.
Yeah.
Because that ain't the case in Friday After Next. In this movie, the third film, like we said in the Friday series, Craig and Day Day, Ice Cube and
Mike
Epps find themselves out of the suburbs for plot reasons. They are now living in a 2-bedroom apartment in South Central LA. They are robbed by Santa Claus. They live in a huge apartment complex. Why Santa Claus robs these guys, we don't know. We don't care. They don't know Santa Claus. Santa Claus, he just randomly picks their house to go in and rob and beat up Ice Cube with a Christmas tree. Yeah. See?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Because when I say that, Ice Cube got beat up with a Christmas tree. It sounds like it should be funny. It sounds like it should be at least madcap. But it's not. It's lifeless. It's boring. There are jokes that fall on the floor. There is one funny joke in this entire movie, and it is here at the beginning.
Oh, that's interesting. Which one did you think was funny? Because I thought one was funny too.
There, as Ice Cube is being beat with a Christmas tree, Day Day is in the other room asleep. He's having a dream, and apparently he's dreaming about what he wants for Christmas, and he mumbles to himself in his dream, ladies and gentlemen, "All I want for Christmas is 2 fat bitches and a bag of weed and 2 bags of chips to give to the fat bitches." That
made you laugh.
It made me laugh, not out loud.
Not out loud.
But it made me laugh like, ha!
That's a joke.
That's the joke.
That's the joke.
That's the one joke, and that happens within the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Mine was a little later in the film, but okay.
The rest of this 125-minute movie, I sat there stone-faced, could not believe all the machinations that were going on in here. Santa Claus robs them. Now, of course, this is a Friday. So on this Friday, Craig and Day Day have to figure out on the job that they're starting on a Friday. Who starts a job on a Friday? They're starting a job on a Friday as security guards at a strip mall. and during this Friday, they have to figure out a way that they can get the rent money that was stolen, along with all of their Christmas presents by Santa Claus, at a strip mall that just so happens to have a barbecue joint that is owned by Craig's father, John Witherspoon, and his brother, played by D.C. Curry, introduced in the last movie.
Introduced in the second
in
one,
the second movie as a $1 million winner of a lottery that he obviously has lost, and now he has to open up this
Sure.
stupid barbecue joint. They run into Cat Williams, who apparently has some type of clothing store for pimps and hoes that is also in the strip mall. I'm saying air quotes, ladies and gentlemen, that you can't see because it's not really defined exactly what this store is.
Really understand. Yeah,
Somewhere along the lines, you learn that Craig and Day-Day's landlord not only has a thing for Craig's dad, John Witherspoon, and the reason being is because why not, and also because the actress playing the landlord is actually the actress that played John Witherspoon's wife in the House Party movies and in Boomerang. I see Vincent looking up the actor.
Right, that would of course be B.B. Drake.
B.B. Drake.
The great B.B. Drake.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she also has a son coming home from prison,
Sure.
Damon, played by Terry Crews.
Yeah.
Who apparently, while lifting weights in prison, also has begun to reassess his sexuality.
He likes to rape men.
Okay.
That's part of. I mean, is that not the joke?
Well, that is
Is that not the actual joke?
That is the
joke. Is that he has been in prison a long time.
Yes.
So now he likes to rape men.
Yes.
Isn't this hilarious?
That is.
Are you not entertained?
That is the joke. That is actually the entire joke of this film. As you can imagine, from here, hijinks ensue in this film that was, as Vince mentioned, written by Ice Cube. If you remember, the first Friday, the one that everybody likes, not only was it blessed enough to feature Chris Tucker as the co-star with Ice Cube, but it was written by Cube and DJ Pooh. And also directed by DJ Pooh, if I remember. No.
Gray.
That's F. Gary Gray.
Yeah.
But DJ Pooh wrote it.
Right.
And if you remember that film, everybody in that film, even though they were over-the-top characters, they were still grounded in a sense of reality.
Yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
it still felt like you were, you had happened upon a street in South Central.
Yeah.
You know, and some craziness was happening, but it was the normal craziness of the neighborhood. And while you recognize that, as always happens in comedies, as the sequels continue on, the comedy gets ratcheted up.
Sure.
The comedy shouldn't get ratcheted up, but the characters shouldn't. The worst thing that happened from the first Friday is that John Witherspoon's character as Craig's father plays a little bit over the top because that's John Witherspoon.
Right.
But he is always a father.
Yes.
And we actually praise him as
Absolutely.
despite him being slightly over the top, being a well-grounded, good father in that film. And increasingly in next Friday and in Friday after next, he becomes more and more of a cartoon. Until Friday after next, he is just 100 straight cartoon.
Yeah.
He's not, everything is about mugging for the camera. The problem is that because he stood out in Friday, in next Friday, you have other people trying to slowly kind of like ratchet it up till Friday After Next, which is written by Ice Cube, who doesn't know about writing characters, who doesn't know about writing dialogue. Everybody is on 12 and just going for what everybody is mugging for the camera. Everybody is just in a movie all into themselves, and none of it congeals. Cat Williams, if you know Cat Williams from his comedy shows, you know how he is, how he's going to come off over the top, screaming, short man complex, but a very funny cat. But when Cat Williams is already coming in at a 10, but everybody else is at a 10, then he just becomes part of the noise.
Right.
Part of the din that is happening in this movie, where nothing lands. The story is just stupid.
Story is strong. That's a strong word, story.
Well, yeah, because it really is just a series of stupid like set pieces with barely any connective tissue. They more or less at the end of the movie do a 5-minute, like monologue of clips with Ice Cube doing voiceover just so they can wrap up some of the stupid plot lines that or so-called plot lines that they introduced into this film. Ice Cube, you could tell very much that this was a money grab for him. He's sleepwalking through the entire movie.
Yeah.
100% sleepwalking. They had to return after filming most of this movie to do reshoots because they realized that the story wasn't connecting. So they had to do reshoots of this big scene at the end that goes throughout this house with this crazy dude shooting up the house just to make some semblance of a sense of the story. Ice Cube famously went to Chris Tucker and all but begged him to be in this movie. And Chris Tucker said no.
Yeah.
And I think Chris Tucker probably, well, we know he made the right decision.
Oh yeah.
But I think he saw the writing on the wall, or what little bit of it that there was, and that this was the movie to stay away from.
Look, you started with the director. I'm going to start with Ice Cube himself. I knew that this was going to be a rocky ride when it said written by Ice Cube. Full stop. Just Ice Cube by himself. And this is after Next Friday, which he wrote, which in many ways was a failure of a film. But I have to say, compared to this,
oh yeah,
Next Friday is Eve's Bayou.
Right.
So A, Ice Cube wrote this script by himself. B, as you said, this film is 1 hour and 25 minutes. So it's a short film. Speaking of patterns that have emerged as you and I have watched these films over these many years, a tell that we have identified when we see a film that the filmmakers are trying to pad, or they've run out of ideas and they just are fights and chase scenes.
Yep.
This is a film, again, at 100, at 1 hour and 20, at 125 minutes.
Yeah, which is 2 hours.
No, I'm sorry. It's not 2 hours. It's an hour and a half. It's an hour and 25 minutes.
Right.
Not 2 hours, which is less than an hour and a half. This film starts with an extended fight scene, as you said, when this Santa Claus character breaks in. There are no less than 4 fight scenes in this film. there are 3 extended chases in this film. So that even for a script that is lackluster at its zenith, it is padded, and it's almost like Ice Cube didn't even want to do this.
No.
So that's just from the level of script. Everything that you said about the direction in this film, I agree with. I have to say, I didn't notice the direction as far as like you said, well, the actual directing, people on screen, people not on screen. Because of the script, what I noticed about the direction was the lack of performances that were able to be pulled out. As you said,
Because everything's a mid-shot.
John Witherspoon is beyond caricature at this point. He really is just bang, 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 man.
Yeah.
But what I think is important to note about John Witherspoon's character in Friday is 1995. Bang, bang, bang comes from Boomerang.
Yes.
Which is 1992. So Friday is after Boomerang. So he clearly could have just been that in Friday. But because of the wonderful direction of F. Gary Gray, because of this great script by Ice Cube, and frankly, I feel like DJ Pooh is the one who really added heft to the script.
Of course. Well, now you can see it.
You get that wonderful nuance that we talked about. I was listening to our review of Next Friday yesterday to get ready for this, and we noted that Anna Marie Horsford and Regina King not being in the sequel, you dilute the family structure that you get in Friday. Anna Marie Horsford comes back, but she might as well as not come back. Like, you could tell the only reason she's back is to set up this bit at the end.
Yep.
Between John Witherspoon and B.B. Drake's character.
Yep.
So that you have, oh, wait, I didn't count that fight scene in my fight scene. You have yet another fight scene.
Exactly.
I still like, generally, Ice Cube and Mike Epps together. Like, I like them together. But even in something like Next Friday, which again is not a great film, but I kind of like them together. You don't even get that kind of camaraderie
Not at all.
in this that you got in that. DC Curry is just there. You talked about Cat Williams. I think Cat Williams is funny too, but I think Cat Williams works best, here you go, when he's actually directed.
Well, yeah.
Because I do think Cat Williams has a bit of intelligence
Definitely.
to what he brings to a role, and there's no room for that here. In this film's defense, I never liked Terry Crews until Everybody Hates Chris. But this is another film that I did not like Terry. Like that whole muscle man moving his body, moving his pecs up and down. That whole shtick, I just have never liked it.
I've never liked it, but nor do I. I don't think he sells it.
Right, and the big muscle man, like the big muscle man in the boxer shorts who got out of prison and now he won't rape people. It's in bad taste, but more importantly, it's just lazy.
And to be fair, it was in bad taste in 2002. This is not just our 2023 lens looking at it.
But again, even bad taste. Taste is taste. To me, the bigger crime is it's lazy. It's just such a lazy beat. And back to Cat Williams, you get the sense that the only reason Cat Williams is in the film is because he's a short man. Mm-hmm. So you can set up this rape joke. Because we talked about Cat Williams is playing this Cat Williams character who's, I guess, a pimp. But he's a pimp with one girl. But then Pinky shows up, and Pinky remains an enigma
I know.
of a character. Like, what is Pinky's deal? But Pinky has 3 girls.
Yes.
So how is the mystery character have more girls
Then the pimp character.
than the pimp character? Like, it's just not thought out. And you talk about the laziness of it. As you say in the description, the second film, one of the mistakes of the second film that I thought they made is they moved it from South Central to this sort of unnamed, bloodless,
Suburb.
characterless suburb.
Right.
Now they're back in South Central. It is the perfect opportunity to fold in some of the elements from Friday. This film is so lazy that it misses the obvious joke that D.C. Curry's character, Craig's uncle, now has a new girlfriend played by Samore. Mm-hmm. How do you not have Samore's character be Nia Long's character's sister when Samore and Nia Long are sisters? Like, it's sitting right there.
Okay, yeah, but
This whole, you want to have a little person joke? Why not bring in Tony,
Tony Cox.
why not bring in Tony Cox from Friday? You want to have a Santa stealing from people who seems like he's got something going on? Why not have the actress that played Felicia play the Santa that is stealing from people? Like, I understand you can't get Chris
Tucker.
I understand you can't get Neil Long. I understand you can't get Regina King. You can't tell me that Tony Cox and the actress who played Felicia wouldn't have been involved with this if you. I mean, if you got to make these jokes, like, just, go ahead and lean into it. And it really is. It's just, and then the worst part of it, and this is a continuation of something that you see in Friday. I do think, kind of like you mentioned, as you said, these properties go on from sequel to sequel, and it's diminishing returns, and it really is sort of nostalgia and memory and member berries that bring you back to it. And I think a perfect example of something that has rested on those laurels is Ice Cube's other big property, which is Barbershop. Which, Barbershop 2 is not as good as Barbershop. Barbershop Next Cut is not as good, so on and so forth. But I think the difference between the Barbershop series and this series is that all of the characters in Barbershop are actual characters.
Right.
So that even if the films aren't as good as the original Barbershop, there's an aspect of Barbershop that you're just interested in seeing these characters.
Yeah, it could, because almost in every one of the films, one of the things you say is like, I could have just spent a moment listening to X characters.
Right, like it's so interesting. You see Craig's son in high school that his wife was pregnant with in the first Barbershop. You see, I forget the little brother who was the actor who was the barber in the first one, but then he goes and works for looking right at him. But there's this warmth to Barbershop that even if something, again, like Barbershop, like the final cut, is not that good.
I never even saw it.
It's not that good, but it's just really nice to see those characters again. But because Ice Cube's scripts completely undermine characterization in Next Friday, and then it continues in this Craig is a character, like this Craig is like a completely different character.
Doesn't even
than
resemble
the Craig in Friday. John Witherspoon's character is a completely different character, and there's nothing to latch onto.
Nothing at all. Yeah, you talk about you like Cube and Mike Epps' chemistry.
Generally.
Generally.
Not in this film.
Because this is not their only film
Right.
series. They did all about the Benjamins
Right.
as well. I don't like them. I don't like their chemistry. Maybe part of that from a visual standpoint is that they kind of resemble one another, at least like in complexion and haircut. So it just doesn't jive with me there. I think it also is, especially in this movie, and I felt it a little bit in Next Friday as well, is that I think Mike Epps, when he is doing this, is pushing. I don't think, like, because Mike Epps has famously done some comedy, some stand-up comedy. But it's funny, we were talking about this right before we started the cameras. I saw, at least from my recollection, the earliest time I've ever saw Mike Epps, and didn't realize I saw him, was in the second episode of The Sopranos, which I just happened to rewatch the other day, where he shows up as an actor playing a gay man's lover, in a mostly comedic bit in the show, but he's an actor, and I think that points to what we've always said about Mike Epps. I like him as an actor.
Yeah.
But I think that when he is given something where he's just supposed to be funny and more or less left to his own devices of being funny, because I understand that he did a fair amount of ad libs and improvising in this movie as well. Which, and I can see Ice Cube giving him the leverage and the leeway to do so. But Mike, that's not Mike Epps' strong suit. Mike Epps' strong suit is being an actor and being directed and having a script upon which he can pull something from. And then every once in a while, maybe I'll throw something at you.
Well, a structure that he can actually add. Like, we're saying it's ad lib, but I think he basically had to build it from the ground up.
Build it from the ground up.
Yeah.
And I think in doing so,
on the fly.
Right. And I think he, because he's not as good at that as, of course, Chris Tucker.
Sure.
He and Ice Cube, I just never brought them together. And if you remember, I think what you see as chemistry in Next Friday, they actually are antagonists against each other for a little bit of that in there as well. So it's a different tension. You know, which
that's true.
Which there's none of that really in this one.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't play at all.
Yeah. Now, Pinky remains a chaotic force.
He does.
That
I wish he was in so much more of the movie, though. I wish he was in so much more of the movie.
What is the deal with Pinky? And again, I love how they play him in both films, where and certainly I do think just because Ice Cube is not as focused with what his goals are, but regardless of that, this sort of, again, this chaos around this Pinky character endlessly fascinates me. And certainly I think when you think about the legacy of these two films, Pinky is all anyone ever talks about. But like we talked about in Next Friday, Pinky is only in one scene.
I know.
In Next Friday. And in this film, is he in 3 scenes?
Maybe. He's probably in a little bit more, but it's more just he's background.
Like, I'm actually shocked no one tried to develop something with Pinky.
Well, you talk about the enigma of Pinky, and Pinky is definitely an enigma. But here's the real enigma to me, and here's the real question. What is it about Clifton Powell? No, seriously.
Okay.
That no one has developed anything for him. Because I'm watching him in these movies. One scene, Next Friday, best thing in the movie.
Yeah.
Walks into this movie, you can't take your eyes off him. But then, I'm also thinking about him in Ray.
Yeah.
And think of how good he is in Ray, where he's playing a bit off type in there because he's not the villain.
It's the only role I can think of
Where he's not really
besides this.
where he's not really villain.
Where he's not playing Clifton Powell type.
right.
Yeah.
But when you think about the actor, obviously has the chops, right?
Yeah.
You think and you think about how good he is in playing the bad guy.
Yeah.
Right? Especially in Dead Presidents.
Yeah.
Where, oh my God, he's like the force of nature in that movie.
I mean, Andre the drug dealer on Rock is in a lot of circles iconic.
Why hasn't anybody developed something with him? I would be very curious the next time we sit down with some of our people in the friends in the industry and ask them what do they know about what's the Clifton Powell story.
And I think he was on one of those kind of post Empire Greenleaf, like remember it was like a wave.
He showed up on a few of them
of those nighttime, like
Yeah.
on Bounce or like all black, like I feel like it's like
I feel like I've seen him.
I feel like I've seen like an ad with a bunch of actors,
and he's there,
and he's like there in the background in the suit.
and I feel like I've seen him in what like maybe one of the Power sequels or anything, but even then, if I did, he definitely is still in the background. Like
Right.
why isn't
he out front?
because not only does he have the chops, let's face it, he is a very good looking man.
Yeah.
So he is a guy, he has the leading features to be like, that Tony Soprano, that, Mad Men type of role, man. You could plug him into almost any era of costuming and he will rock it.
Giancarlo Esposito, post Breaking Bad, has just I think there's something coming out on FX that is his star vehicle. You and I, we've all been talking about Jeffrey Wright over the past few weeks because of American Fiction. I think there are a lot of those actors. Your Courtney B. Vance's, your
Well, the thing is now is like Courtney B. Vance and Giancarlo and Clifton Powell, sight unseen, they're probably all in the same age bracket
those
right
Delroy
now.
Lindos,
Delroy's
these
older.
Yeah, but Black Don't Crack, they all going for the
okay,
same
fair
role.
enough.
They all going for the same role.
Yeah.
Like these black character actors that you could have built. And The Sopranos is a perfect example. Like James Gandolfini had been bouncing around Hollywood for 20 years. And then The Sopranos, suddenly people discover that he's this amazing presence and this amazing actor.
Yep.
So many of these actors across the board, just, it's just not enough material. I mean, hell, are you watching Fargo?
I haven't started
this season.
Yet. I know you told me.
Before Mad Men, John Hamm bounced around.
Nope. Yep.
Just bounced around. You get this career-defining role. Mm-hmm. But since Mad Men, what's John Hamm really done?
Well, no. In John Hamm,
No, he's in the movie. He's been in movies.
he's been in movies, but in his defense, he purposefully pulled away from things.
Okay.
Because he was so much in front on
Right.
and he wanted to.
My point is, if a white man like William H. Macy, like John Hamm, like James Gandolfini, I mean, hell, Quiet as Is Kept before ER
George Clooney.
George Clooney. These dudes bounce around.
Yep. George Clooney bounced around from
Bounce
series to series to series.
You know, my thing, I think, you know, he was dating the black girl on Head of the Class.
Yeah.
No, the other black girl. And you know, she, you know, bounce around. They get an opportunity. They run with it, become these, you know, these great success stories. And these are white men. So, you know, the brothers aren't like, who's really get like we talk about Giancarlo Esposito in Breaking Bad. What is another example of one of these wonderful character actors that finds a role on television
Okay.
that then propels them and everyone goes, oh yeah.
That's a good. Well,
Like, God bless Clifton Powell, but I think that line, like the
Idris Elba.
See,
The Wire.
Idris Elba's a little different because he was young, and he looks like Idris Elba.
Okay, but he wasn't as young as he looked.
True, black cracking,
And
all
he's
that.
still
True. No, I hear what
still
you're
ran
saying.
with it.
Right. Yeah, I hear you. I obviously agree with you, but I do think the line that
Andre Brower, but he doesn't really go into movies though.
right and
God rest his soul,
Yeah,
Andre
oh my-
Brower.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh. And speaking of Andre Brower, because what I'm talking about silver lining, like apparently there's been some movement over the past week where maybe, knock on wood, and everybody knock on wood, they might start. They're talking about streaming Homicide finally.
Finally.
Andre Brower doesn't have a breakout role really until Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
You mean after Homicide? Because Homicide is a breakout role.
Homicide is 100% not a breakout role. Homicide is a cult classic.
But he got nominated.
Yes, and lots of people get nominated for awards. I'm talking about something that I'm talking about Gus Fring on Breaking Bad.
Okay, fair enough. It doesn't break him out there, but it does. He becomes a name because of Homicide.
I mean, I guess he was the third lead on the Ray Romano show that 15 people watched, including me, because I love Men of a Certain Age.
I loved that show.
Yeah. Andre Brower doesn't really get a breakout where he can't walk down the street anymore until Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
That's fair enough. Real quick, another aside. Ray Romano went from Everybody Loves Raymond. He's a very good dramatic actor now.
He's very good.
He's a very good
I wish
actor.
he'd do more.
Well, he's doing a fair amount.
Yeah, Ray Romano is fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I wish people give him. I mean, hell, I wish
It's not too late. He's certainly up there in age.
The man's not dead. I wish Clifton Powell would do more comedy. Frankly,
I wish he would do more comedy, but right now I just like.
you want a Clifton something? Well, a
Just
Gus
something.
Fring. We want a Gus Fring role.
Yeah, he needs a Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
That's Bryan Cranston bounce around.
Mm-hmm.
Breaking Bad really blows him up. Mm-hmm. That's what Clifton deserves, and it's not too late for him.
And even that, like, you think about it, Gus doesn't show up until the second or third season.
I think it's third season.
The third season,
and he wasn't supposed to be.
I know
on there like he was.
Look.
It was just Giancarlo.
Dude,
the camera loves the man.
Was not watching Breaking Bad. And then the scene in there, if you've watched Breaking Bad, you know the box cutter scene.
Mm-hmm.
I said, whoa. Like, you talking about somebody who ran with it. So, this is not the film that's going to propel Clifton Powell into a wider audience that he deserves to showcase his talent.
Apparently not, because 20 years later, nobody's talking about it. Nobody's developing anything for Pinky.
No, nobody's developing anything for Pinky, which is a shame. Because the only sliver of joy. At one point, Pinky starts dancing with DC Curry's wife, girl and is feeling on her thigh, and then him and DC Curry are about to get into a fight, and it is the most bizarre moment. Like, I was like, what is happening right now? Because it's Pinky, Agent of Chaos.
Yes, it is.
Is he a pimp? Is he a gangster? Does he own a record store? I don't know. It's never very clear.
We know he has the world's longest limousine.
And he told the dude in the last movie, I done told you about driving crazy. You almost made me drop my yak.
Don't let these laughs fool you. There's nothing funny
No.
about Friday After Next.
But I suppose
No. And would you recommend Friday After Next?
I would not. I would not.
And thus comes to the end of 2023 here on the Micheaux Mission, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Before we tell you all the things and where you can find us, I invite you, ladies and gentlemen, to return with us in January, Saturday, January 27th, to be exact, to the lovely confines of the lounge at World Cafe Live, as the Micheaux Mission will be presenting a live film screening and live podcast of Love Jones on the big screen at the lounge at World Cafe Live here in Philadelphia. It promises to be a fantastic time. Tickets are on sale now at worldcafelive.com. You'll want to be there because that is not only where we're going to be screening Love Jones, and that is not only where we are going to be doing a live podcast about Love Jones, but that is also where you will have your opportunity to have your voice heard on our next film screening coming after that. And there'll be news about that film screening coming your way very soon. But if you want to talk about this movie or anything to Vincent and Len, please send us an email. Feel free. Send us an email at micheauxmission@gmail.com. That's micheauxmission@gmail.com. You can also like the Micheaux Mission on all of your social medias at Micheaux Mission on Instagram, Facebook, as well as Twitter. On Facebook, you can join our Facebook group, Micheaux Mission, where we have fun talking back and forth with all our missionaries. Actually had to go in there and start talking to some missionaries. Had to kick out a couple of missionaries because they were getting a little crazy in there.
Watch out now.
But we try to keep it a decent place in there. So, but we're going to have fun over the holidays. I'm going to be putting in new videos and putting up some polls in there and stuff. We're going to have a whole lot of fun as we are changing the look and feel of our social media in 2024. So stay tuned for big things happening that way and big partnerships happening here on the Micheaux Mission.
All right.
The Micheaux Mission is also streams live every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. from Young Junk, Philadelphia's premier video podcast palace here in Manayunk. If you want to book your time in one of these fantastic studios, you can email our man Dylan at youngjunk.com. That's DYLAN at youngjunk, YUNKJUNK.com. And get Dylan and tell Dylan we want the Micheaux Mission room for our podcast so that he can say no.
No studio for you.
And move on to the next email.
That's right.
The Micheaux Mission also streams to YouTube, where I invite you to subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified when we put up our new shorts, when we're going to go live, and all of the new videos go up on our YouTube channel. Because we thank each and every one of you missionaries for being fans of the Micheaux Mission, who are proud members of the Podglomerate Podcast Network. The Podglomerate, they make podcasts work. All right.
All right.
And with that, we bid you adieu for the year of 2023. This
Absolutely.
has been a joy as always.
Always.
And as we start and come back in January, we will be returning on January 9th.
That's right. Taking a little time off.
Taking a couple of weeks off. January 9th, we'll be coming back here on the Micheaux Mission. Look at on our social media because we're going to be telling you the film that we're going to be reviewing, and we're going to give you some information about our next film screening. Film screening series.
Oh.
Yeah, we got to go. All right.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah.
Be safe.
Happy holidays.
Happy Hanukkah. Have a safe and happy Kwanzaa
Yes.
to each and every one of you. Until 2024, he's Vincent, I'm Len, that's Dylan. And in parting, we say,
We'll see you when it's time to meet again.